The question is that the motion be agreed to. I call the member for Goldstein.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, when we think about words, we have to recognise they have power because they articulate a point, a proposition, and sometimes they can define a person. Let's think about the word hypocrite. Let's think about the word hypocrite and what it means. A hypocrite went to the last election and said they wanted, and they ran on a platform of saying they wanted $387 billion of new taxes, and then has the temerity and the gumption to come into this place after they've been elected on that platform and say the government should cut taxes. A hypocrite would make that argument. Somebody who lacks any substance or any economic understanding would go in the public domain and argue that case and come in to this place and argue the reverse. So the power of words matters, Deputy Speaker. A hypocrite will get up and make those arguments. Now, of course, today we have a motion that has been put forward by the member for Fraser. And he's done so having gone to the last election, his first election, arguing that the solution to Australia's economic challenges is a massive new set of taxes that undermines the confidence in the housing market, that undermines investment in the future building of Australia, undermines the disposable income of Australian retirees, and then, funnily enough, he's come into this place, and if you go off that verbal diatribe the member Fraser gave just only moments ago, apparently the solution is now to cut taxes. Considering he has a background in economics, either he lives up to the definition of certain words, or he just says what he thinks is necessary at the time to make an argument, but there is no sense of core belief or conviction, because after you go through the process of him verballing the Reserve Bank Governor, and he did that, where the Reserve Bank Governor, who appears before the Economics Committee, and the member for Fraser is a member of that committee, as I am chair, when he comes before that committee, he outlines, yes, that there is the end of the exhaustion of what monetary policy can achieve. It is not a lever within itself. But when it was put to him at the last hearing of the Economics Committee, I can't even remember if the member for Fraser was still there, he made the point that actually, when put to him, are you arguing for more and more fiscal stimulus versus actually arguing for issues of structural reform, he was arguing for the latter. But the problem the member for Fraser has, as do many of the Labor Party, is their only solution for structural reform is how do we impose new taxes. That's what they took to the last election. That's what they took to the previous election. It's what they took to the one before that and the one before that, because in the end they have no sense of vision or purpose. Now, the fundamentals of the Australian economy show that it is resilient against global headwinds. We shouldn't underestimate the challenge that we face around coronavirus and the impact on global supply chains and the like. We shouldn't underestimate the economic challenges we face because of other countries lowering their interest rates. And one of the challenges Australia does is we have to make sure we continue to manage and meet those challenges to make sure that our exports are competitive. We've suffered drought and bushfires. But despite all that, we have millions of more people employed in the Australian economy today than when we were first elected to government, about $1.5 million since we first came to office, an increase of 13.2%. And at every point when the government has faced economic challenges outside of our control, we've met them through rational policy that informs and promotes investment in the Australian economy by doing things like cutting taxes. Yes, we have definitely done that, despite the best efforts of the member for Fraser and many of the acolytes on the other side of the opposition benches. And what we want to do is keep investing in those types of measures so that we continue to build the strength of the Australian economy. If only they would come on that journey, Deputy Speaker. If only they would take to the next election a platform for structural reform and cutting taxes. Now, of course, we have no idea what they're going to take to the next election or even going to prosecute in this term of parliament as they jump around deciding what their targets are going to be, and apparently they're now going to abolish whole sectors of the economy but not admit to it. But the choice we face now and the Australian people face now is about whether we continue the leadership we need to make sure we have a strong economy into the future, and it doesn't rest on the opposition benches.